In today's Final Touch, a question for you. Have you stuck to your Get in Shape New Year's resolution?
You know, I just didn't even make them. It was easier that way. If not, we do have some inspiration for you. This 9-year-old Louisiana boy can deadlift 230 pounds. It's as impressive as it is emasculating for the rest of us. Let's be honest, the deadlift is one of third grader feats of strength. He can also bench press 92 pounds and squat 190 pounds.
Good grief.
He works out every morning with his trainer. He's broken a couple records in his weight class, including 3 in one single day. This summer, the small wonder will head to Florida to try for, another national title.
That's a lot of weight.
I need to hit the gym right there.
All right, that's our time for now. We'll see you back here again tomorrow. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, new details about a jogger who investigators would like to speak to as they continue looking for answers in a Blue Mounds man's death. And the vice president in Madison for an event celebrating Wisconsin school choice. We'll hear from him and protesters as well. Plus, Beloit police arrest a man after his stepchild brought a loaded handgun to his elementary school.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with us. Susan is off tonight. We start with breaking news from the Channel 3000 Alert Center as Dane County investigators continue to ask for help solving a murder case. Danica Lewis now with the latest information they hope will help. Danica.
Well, Eric, that newest piece of information is this picture of a brown jacket with red striping. Investigators are hoping that this image can help track down a runner who was wearing a jacket like this one the day Blue Mounds veteran Nicholas Day was found dead. Witnesses report seeing that man with a full beard running in the area of Bergham Road and County Road JG on January 15th. Dane County deputies initially thought this was a hit-and-run case, but an autopsy later found that Day died of homicidal violence. Since then, they've been trying to solicit any tips or information that could help crack this case. Now, authorities say the man who was allegedly wearing this brown jacket is not considered to be a suspect. They just want to talk to anyone who may have been around County Road JG, Bergham Road, Stewart County Park, or Bond Road. That includes runners, utility workers, delivery drivers, anyone. If you have a tip, if you were maybe around this area where you see these points here north of Mount Horeb in the Blue Mounds area, the Dane County Sheriff's tip line, that number is 608-255-2345. Please give that a call.
Danica, thank you. Vice President Mike Pence voicing his support for school choice programs. He was in Madison today, and we have team coverage tonight. Amanda Quintana talked with protesters, but we start with Amy Reed with a recap what the Vice President had to say today. Amy?
When we talk about school choice, we're often discussing this voucher program that gives students state financial assistance in order to go to a private school. Now, Pence said that these programs nationwide are very successful. He said they lead to better grades and higher test scores, which recent studies compiled by the Brookings Institute have not backed up. One study pulled data from Milwaukee that showed modest positive impacts for students in math. But there are success stories, which Pence mentioned, including a few students on vouchers in Milwaukee who will be the first in some of their families to go to college.
More and more Americans agree that the decision about where our kids should go to school should not be up to bureaucrats or a student's zip code or their family's income. Parents should decide where their kids go to school.
Trump and his cronies are sabotaging public education because it's not their children who go to public school. At every step, they think this is what's going to happen to someone else. They're handing massive tax cuts to the richest people in America while cutting funding for teachers, for training, for our school systems.
Democrats this morning countered Pence, saying school choice is not the right way to go. That claim about cutting funding is true. The president's 2020 education budget proposal decreased discretionary spending on education by about $7 billion. However, it created education freedom scholarships, which put about $5 billion toward private or charter school vouchers. Now, Pence had dissenters inside the Capitol. They also had dissenters outside the Capitol. Amanda Quintana spoke to some of those protesters who greeted Vice President Mike Pence when he got to the Capitol today.
Yes, there were dozens of protesters here outside the Capitol to chant about issues that they do not agree with Pence on.
Whose house? Our house. Whose house? Our house. When black lives
The goal was to, quote, unwelcome Pence to Madison. Many of them are against school choice, saying, like Amy just mentioned, it's taking away money from public schools. But they also took the chance to point out other issues they feel Pence doesn't support, including climate change initiatives, LGBTQ rights, health care for all, and the right to an abortion. They say he uses the idea of freedom of religion to persecute others.
I don't think he believes in freedom of religion. I think he believes in freedom for Christians to impose their values on everyone else. And as a non-Christian, I find it really offensive.
Some also saying they believe Pence was in the loop in holding aid from Ukraine, the issue at the center of Trump's impeachment trial. Now, once that event did start, a lot of the protesters went inside to chant during his speech. The other ones that stayed out here, they were encouraging people here outside the Capitol to vote.
Amanda Quintana, Amy Reed at the Capitol night. Thanks to both of you. The weather, cold and quiet tonight. We check your first alert forecast. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Eric, it's going to stay that way for a while longer. Let's start out by taking a look at the live view from the Queeby Radio Skycam in Platteville. It has looked like this all day long. The WISC Skycam pretty much unchanged over the last couple of days, just cloudy and gray. Not very little in the way of precipitation, though. You can see on future track over the next 3 days, I don't see any really good chance for any appreciable sunshine, if at all, across southern Wisconsin. You can see pretty much the entire upper Midwest just blanketed with clouds all the way through Friday. We'll probably have to wait until Sunday before we clear out. So look for cloudy skies overnight. Temperatures will drop to around 20 by tomorrow morning. Tomorrow will be a cloudy, seasonably cold day with a high of 28. Could see a couple of flurries in the afternoon. Later on, I'll take a look at our prospects for sun in weather in just a few minutes.
All right, Gary, thank you. New at 5, Monona police are dealing with their third vehicle stolen, recovered now in less than a week. Police made multiple arrests after suspects were seen driving recklessly near Southtown Drive in the Beltline yesterday. As 2 officers attempted to make contact with the vehicle, police say the driver rammed the squad cars and 4 people inside tried driving away. Police say 18-year-old Jasmine Ordonez was a passenger. She was arrested for theft charges and being in possession of a loaded firearm. Several canine units happened to be training in the area where the 3 men ran off. They say they set up a perimeter and tracked down 18-year-old Demariah Muhammad along with the 20-year-old driver James McGowan, who was bitten by a canine after trying to run across the lake on the ice on Lake Monona. Milwaukee County officials say the man killed in a crash involving a sheriff's squad car was a community advocate and Milwaukee Public Schools lobbyist. Last night, community members held a memorial for 47-year-old Cesar Stinson. He died in the collision Saturday morning. Friends and coworkers say he spent his life working with other community leaders to improve the lives of young people in the city. The deputy involved in the crash is on administrative leave while the crash is being investigated. A 36-year-old Beloit man was arrested by police after his stepchild took a loaded gun to Todd Elementary School. A teacher found that gun in a backpack earlier in the morning. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter live at Todd Elementary School with what authorities are saying tonight. Adam?
Yeah, Eric, I got here to Todd Elementary in Beloit just as school was getting out today, and as I caught up with parents, they said they were concerned but also frightened how long it took them to figure out what was going on, as they said they didn't get a call from the district until about 2 o'clock today. Now, according to the Beloit Police Department, around 8 a.m. today, a teacher spotted a loaded gun in a student's backpack. Now, the teacher was able to take away the backpack, and the school called in the student's stepfather, 36-year-old Brian Walker, who was then arrested for leaving the gun in a place where that student could find it and bring it in. The parents I talked to today say this is definitely a scary situation, but they're glad that it didn't end up having a worse outcome.
I couldn't believe that how different the outcome could have been, you know, and thank God for the teacher that was alert and seen the gun, because we all could be standing here with a lot worse situation than we are right now.
Now, as for that student involved, the school district of Beloit tonight will not confirm their age, gender, or even their grade, as they say Wisconsin state statutes don't allow them to do that. They do, however, say in a statement that that student is suspended for the foreseeable future and won't be coming back to school anytime soon. The school district of Beloit did not respond to our request for additional comment tonight.
Adam Duxter reporting live in Beloit tonight. Adam, thank you. Sauk Prairie police have determined a bomb threat at the high school was not credible. That threat called into the school just before 11 this morning. The school was evacuated. Students were sent over to the middle school while the investigation was conducted. Students were allowed to return after the high school was then deemed safe. We're also learning there was a bomb threat made against Madison Memorial High School today. That's according to an email from Principal Matt Hendrickson. He says the threat did not seem credible because of the nature of the email, but security staff did conduct a thorough sweep in and around the school just as a precaution. Madison Police Department responding to fewer heroin and opioid overdoses last year compared to 2018. According to new data from Acting Chief Vic Wall's blog, Madison officers responded to 246 overdoses in 2019. That's compared to 275 overdoses the year prior. Wall says these numbers only include known overdoses, and the actual numbers are likely higher. There were 29 fatal overdoses last year, down 13 from 2018. Today at the state capitol, Democrats are showing support for Governor Tony Evers' special session on agriculture. Representative Dave Considine of Baraboo talked about his experience as a farmer and how a new package of bills will make a difference.
I didn't have time to go get help. I'm sorry, the manure needed to be spread, the goats needed to be milked, the crops needed to be harvested, and the apples sold. So a lot of this package of bills is to assist farmers in financial planning and farm succession, but specifically staff to take it out to the rural areas, staff to go to the farms and help them on the farm.
The $8.5 million package of bills includes mental health resources and creation of the Wisconsin Initiative for Dairy Exports, helping farmers reach their export goals. It also includes grant programs to help small processing plants and support to help farmers diversify crops, including help entering the hemp industry. Governor Evers has called for Republican legislators to take up the bills before adjourning for the year. On Capitol Hill, the president's lawyers wrapped up their opening arguments by addressing the fallout from claims made by former National Security Advisor John Bolton. According to the New York Times, Bolton writes in his upcoming book that President Trump directly linked military aid to Ukraine to an investigation into the Bidens. Some Senate Republicans have suggested Bolton's full manuscript be viewed in a classified setting. President Trump has denied the claims in the Bolton manuscript.
Are you going to allow proceedings on impeachment to go from a New York Times report about someone that says what they hear is in a manuscript? Is that where we are? I hope not.
How stupid are we all going to look if his book comes out with extraordinarily relevant information 60 days from now and this proceeding is over?
At the end of today's arguments, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell announced senators will have 8 hours of questions for both sides tomorrow and 8 hours of questions on Thursday. Coming up next at 5, former high school teammates and coaches are remembering the late Kobe Bryant. And later tonight on News 3 Now at 6, one Super Bowl commercial this year is giving a shout out to the UW School of Veterinary Medicine. We'll explain why at 6. And on Wall Street today, the Dow gaining back some of Monday's big losses, up 187 points. The Nasdaq adds 130, and the S&P jumped 33. We'll be right back. 5 cases of coronavirus have now been confirmed in the U.S. Health officials are warning against any non-essential travel to China and have increased the number of screening sites from 5 U.S. airports to 20, plus border crossings. In the city of Wuhan in China, more than 100 people have now died from the virus. Talks are also underway to get the U.S. and World Health Organization officials on the front lines. They're working alongside Chinese officials to screen people. While the coronavirus is top of mind right now, the Department of Health says you should be more concerned about the flu. The Watertown Catholic School canceled classes both for today and tomorrow after 30 of their students called in sick. They're having their custodians scrub the schools clean from top to bottom over the next couple days to prevent the disease from spreading. And tonight on News 3 Now at 6, our Jamie Perez will show us what some of their efforts have looked like so far. Today will be the first day that the boys and girls basketball teams at Lower Merion High School will play since learning of the death of Kobe Bryant. Back in the mid-90s, the Pennsylvania high school served as Kobe's launching pad, both for his NBA career and also his ability to inspire. Bryant led the boys basketball team to its first state championship in more than a half century. Today, student athletes past and present are trying to make sense of the loss.
Like, why him and why Gianna? It was just a tough day.
He was doing things I've never heard of, like getting a key from a janitor and coming into the school at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, taking 500 shots.
As a high school student?
As a high school student.
At today's Lower Merion games, there will be 33 seconds of silence in honor of Kobe's high school jersey, number 33. Meanwhile, federal investigators have returned to the helicopter crash site in Calabasas to collect evidence. The NTSB released video of crews combing through what's left of the chopper after it slammed into that hillside at nearly 200 miles per hour. Since the helicopter did not contain a black box, investigators are scouring the scene for any electronic devices. That includes the pilot's iPad, passenger smartphones, and any of the cockpit avionics that may store some flight data. Let's get a look at your first alert weather. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti now with your forecast. Gary?
Eric, it's been cloudy. It's going to stay cloudy at least for a few more days. That'll actually be a good thing, at least in terms of temperatures. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. While it won't be sunny, at least through Saturday, it'll be seasonably cold. The clouds act as a blanket at night, so that'll keep our low temperatures up, even though the high temperatures will be right around normal for tomorrow and then slightly above normal for the next couple of days. There could be a couple of flurries tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Should not mount to very much, just a weak passing little weather system, and then another chance for a few flurries from Friday afternoon into Saturday morning. But that's along a warm front, and it will start warming up this weekend. Saturday, I'm looking for high temperatures in the middle 30s. On Sunday, I think high temperatures will hit the lower 40s. And you can see the live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam in downtown Madison. Lots of clouds. Nothing has really changed. Still ice on the southern end of Lake Mendota. But if you think that it's been a long stretch of cloudy weather, you are not alone. I look back at our observations. The last time that Madison reported partly sunny skies was at noon last Tuesday. Ever since then, skies have been reported as mostly cloudy, or being obscured with fog. The last time that we didn't even see a cloudy observation, even if it was at night, was at 5 a.m. last Wednesday morning. So it's been really about a week. We've seen almost continuous cloud cover, and it looks like the next expected sunshine probably will hold off until Sunday morning. So we'll go about a week and a half with seeing very little, if any, sunshine. But as that happens, temperatures will start warming up. We'll be in the upper 20s for tomorrow, around 30 for Thursday and Friday, and then mid-30s on Saturday as the warm front comes through. Sunday with that sunshine, we should hit 42 for a high, and Monday will still be mild southerly winds, high temperature of 41, but a cold front will come through, perhaps bringing some snow, and then temperatures will actually drop slightly below normal as we head into the latter part of next week. And the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center does call for about a 45 to 50% chance of below normal temperatures here in southern Wisconsin. Cloudy skies for tonight will continue into tomorrow. Tomorrow's high temperature, 28 degrees. Could see a couple of flurries develop in the afternoon. As we check out future track, don't expect the clouds to change very much, and the temperatures will be very slow to fall, too. You can see going through early tomorrow morning, we'll be down to around 20 degrees. So that's only a few degrees colder than we are now. And then you can see tomorrow afternoon, maybe a couple of flurries coming in off of Lake Michigan. We could see those tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. By about 10 o'clock tomorrow night, the flurries will be gone. Skies will stay cloudy. Look for the clouds to remain overnight and into Thursday. Thursday morning will probably be just a tad colder with lows in the upper teens and high temperatures right around 30 degrees on Thursday. But again, skies will be mostly cloudy through that time period. Now, as we take a look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, again, we'll stay cloudy with a flurry chance from Friday afternoon into Saturday morning. Saturday's high 35. Sunday, though, partly sunny skies, up to 42 degrees. Maybe Jimmy the Groundhog will see a shadow early in the morning. That supposedly means 6 more weeks of winter. And then some rain showers Monday afternoon. Changing to snow Monday night. Tuesday, there could be some snow with a high of 27, and then seasonably cold weather for the end of next week. Highs lower 20s on Wednesday, mid-20s on Thursday, and breezy with some snow showers or flurries on Friday. High temperature right around 28 degrees. As we take a look at first alert traffic right now, things are actually moving, well, they were moving okay on the Beltline. Things have kind of congested a little bit. This is the Beltline view at Park Street as far as traffic is concerned. Right now, delays on the eastbound Beltline from around the Monona Drive all the way back to around Seminole Highway. Westbound, we're seeing delays starting around Fish Hatchery Road going back to around John Nolan Drive. As far as travel times are concerned, right now, 21 minutes on the eastbound Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate, 17 minutes going back in the westbound direction. It's 24 minutes to Janesville on I-3990 southward from the Beltline, 16 minutes to Sauk City on US 12, and also 16 minutes to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue, US 151. That's your News 3 Now First Alert Traffic.
Okay, Gary, thank you. Coming up next at 5, new information shows the number of data breaches is up 17%. We'll share how new trends are making things easier for hackers. Stay with us. Officials say at least 6 former Shopko locations across Iowa will reopen as Hy-Vee Dollar Fresh stores. Wisconsin-based Shopko filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy a year ago, citing excess debt. 2 months later, it announced it would liquidate remaining stores. The Dollar Fresh stores are designed for smaller communities. Hy-Vee plans to open the stores by late summer. And Harley-Davidson stock tanked today, dropping 3% in early trading as motorcycle sales continue to slide. The company's stock is down more than 10% so far this year. The problem, Americans aren't riding Harley's trademark hogs nearly as much as they once did, while sales increase slightly overseas. Demand for the company's bikes continue to fall here in the U.S. For the first time in years, the IRS has updated the federal income withholding form, or W-4 form. One major change is that it took away allowances because the new tax law approved in 2017 eliminated personal exemptions. Instead, the form directly asks you how many children and dependents you have, and you have to multiply that number by the amount of the federal tax credit. It also simplified the section about other income. Now you just have to check a box if you work 2 jobs or if you have a spouse who works. You only need to fill out a W-4 if you started a new job in 2020. A new report warns about a big increase in data breaches affecting tens of millions of Americans. The Identity Theft Resource Center counted nearly 1,500 breaches of U.S. private and government organizations in 2019. Anna Werner reports.
I got a letter in the mail from Barclays Bank, and the letter said that my line of credit application was denied.
Jaspreet Singh says he hadn't filed for that line of credit or the parade of false loan applications that followed as crooks using his personal information tried over and over to run their scams in 2018 and 19, finally charging his business MasterCard for $4,500.
This $4,500 worth of charges were from somebody in Texas who were using my business credit card to run Facebook ads for their business.
Singh says his private information was exposed with millions of others in the 2017 Equifax hack, and odds are more people will face similar problems. In its 2019 end-of-year data breach report, the Identity Theft Resource Center says the number of data breaches went up 17%. The group says one significant new threat that emerged: consumers' or companies' data being exposed through databases left unsecured. They say a number of large organizations simply failed to add a password to protect their cloud-based data. It's not known if that data was then stolen. Another trend that's exploded in the past year, they say, something called credential stuffing, where hackers buy someone's stolen login and password from the dark web, then see if that same combo gets them into other online accounts. The center's COO, James Lee.
The reason it's so easy is because so many of us use the same password for multiple accounts.
The report says noteworthy credential stuffing attacks in 2019 included Intuit, Boost Mobile, Dunkin', and the streaming service Disney+. Singh says his credit card company did finally reimburse his card for the $4,500 in fraudulent charges. He also had to put a freeze on his credit with all 3 credit bureaus and flag the problem to all of his banks. Anna Werner, CBS News, New York.
And stay with us. We'll have another Check Your Forecast when we return. Gary's back. Got another check of this kind of just nothing forecast. There's nothing happening out
dreary,
there. Not a bad thing.
quiet, but at least we're not dealing with any storms or anything. If you look at temperatures over the next 12 hours, you can see just how slowly those temperatures fall. The cloud cover is just kind of keeping our temperatures up. So by tomorrow morning, we'll be down only a few degrees colder than we are right now. And look for temperatures to stay in the upper 20s for tomorrow, around 30 on Thursday and low 30s on Friday. Could be a few flurries in there, but a warm front comes through on Saturday, getting our temperatures up into the low 40s on Sunday. And then some snow Tuesday and colder weather for the end of next week.
All right, Gary, thank you. We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News is next.